Hello, hi guys. In today's video, we are going to learn about terms and expression. Okay, so let's start with the basic definition of term. If we talk about arithmetic, then we can define terms as the numbers that have constant values. Okay, but in algebraic context, we define terms as the numbers that have constant values or the symbols or the variables that have unknown values or the combination of numbers and variables. Okay, what does it mean? It means the product of constant and variables. Okay, so in algebraic context, terms means the components that can either be constant. Constant means any numbers that have fixed value, or variable. Okay, right here constant means any number 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Or it can be variable, means which have unknown value. We use abstract symbols for variables. For example, x, y, z, or it can be x square, y square, it can be z square, so on. All right. Or the combination of constant and variable, means the product of constant and variable. It can be 2x, it can be 4y, it can be 8xy, it can be 7x cube y, it can be 9xy squared, so on. Okay, so when we talk about terms in algebraic context, terms are defined as the components that have either the constant values, the numbers that have constant values, or the variables that have unknown values, or constants and variables multiplied together. Now, see here, when we arrange all these terms to build the expression, okay, we put operator signs in between the terms. Okay, so to understand this, let's talk about expression first. Expression means collecting terms. Okay, collecting terms and separating them by placing plus or negative, positive or negative sign in between. Okay, so the definition of expression says collection of terms separated by the operator sign plus or minus, plus and minus. Okay, for example, I have constant term here, 6. Okay, this is constant term. Then I have variable x square. Okay, and then I have one more term which is product of constant and variable, that is 3x. Okay, so if I have to make the expression out of these terms, I would collect all these terms, okay, and then I will put plus or negative sign in between. So the possible scenarios, the possible scenarios for building the expression out from these three terms could be x square plus 3x plus 6, or x square minus plus 3x minus 6, or x square minus 3x minus 6, or x square minus 3x minus 6, right? Uh, Now see here, when we arrange terms in the form of expression, we have to take note of one point, that all the terms should be arranged in the descending order of their powers. So that's why here I started with the highest power, and as we move further, so the power decreased by 1, and when uh, when we when if we go to the next term here, we have constant. Okay, so the expression is very simple thing. It's collection of terms, algebraic terms separated by the operator sign plus and minus. Now see here there is one more question. Why don't we use multiply and division sign for separation? The reason is because if we multiply constant, for example, in this case, if we multiply constant and variable, then it's going to give us one term. Okay, so when you multiply two terms, you are going to get one term. Similar is the case with division. When you are going to divide the terms, you are going to get the one term. Okay, so that's why we only use operator plus and positive and negative, or plus and minus for separation. Okay, uh, let's see, we are given with this expression. Let's see if this is an algebraic expression. So in algebraic expression, the minimum requirement is it must have one variable term, right? It must have one variable term. So x squared plus 5x minus 6. So 6, we have constant, right? This is constant term. And x squared, it's unknown, so it is variable term. Okay, then in the middle we have product of constant and variable. Okay, now see here, if you look at this term, this is 5 multiplied by x, right? So x is unknown, and when you multiply 5 with unknown, so the value of this term is going to be unknown too. Okay, so in this case, when you have constant tied to the variable, then the constant part, for example here in this term, the constant 5 is tied to the variable x, so the constant part 5 is known as coefficient. Okay, coefficient. So 5 is coefficient of variable x. Okay, similarly here I have x squared, and this x squared can be written as 1 multiplied by x squared. So I can say this one is the coefficient of x squared. Okay, this 5 is coefficient of x. Okay, so it may be possible here in this expression we have one variable. It can be possible that you have equation which contains, or you have expression that contains more than one variable. For example, uh, let's take one more example. For example, this is the equation: x squared plus y squared plus 2 plus 4x plus 9y plus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, now if you look at this equation, okay, if you look at this equation is quite similar to the equation of the circle. Okay, now in this equation we have two variables. The first variable is x and the second variable is y. Okay, in this expression is collection of terms, so we have to check whether this expression is algebraic expression or not. So it satisfies the minimum requirement. It must have at least one variable, but in this expression we have two variables, so yes, it's an algebraic expression. So if you look at all the terms one by one, this 8, this is the constant term, this 9y, okay, it's the product of constant with variable, so this 9 is going to be the coefficient of y. This x is tied to 4, okay, or this 4 is tied to x, so 4 is constant multiplied to the variable x, so this 4 is going to be the coefficient of x. Here we have variable y. This is variable y. This is variable y, and this is variable x. Okay, so I hope this video has sorted out all your doubts about terms and expression. Okay, thank you very much for watching out this video.